Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
3, 2,
Give the man some fucking eggs, bitch.
1. Ladies and gentlemen, your boys, we're live.
And we held it long enough. Thank you.
We should make it probably an official,
actual image.
Did I, hello? No, we're good. We're good.
We're good. You
Are
alright?
you blinking?
It's blink.
We're
We're
good.
on.
I make mine do this.
Oh, your air conditioning vent is on my back.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
oh yeah.
Fabulous.
This is bullshit.
So I don't know if you know, but it was 78 in here, which means that it's definitely 80 degrees in here. So we now have the AC jamming, baby.
Dude, my AC was doing some weird stuff. The other day it went to 52 degrees. And
yeah, that's what you told us about that.
The day after it went to 85.
Didn't you say when it was on? Didn't you say when it was on 52? Shit was frosting over.
I think Echo figured out how to.
I don't know, man.
Didn't you say shit was frosting over when it was 52?
Yes. It literally was like foggy windows. It was so cold. The AC just went. I already went over my efficient pricing on my monthly electric bill, and we still have another 30 days left.
Well,
we got fucked.
That's like one of those situations where when you walk into the bathroom, all the pipes that have water, the sinks and stuff have condensation on the back of it, and it's dripping all over the fucking place and everything.
That's exactly what it was.
Evan's house today, his AC ducting in the basement was just fucking dripping water because of how humid it was. Yeah.
Wow.
It gets bad. Already.
First off, Bluntly, welcome on in, and Luz, welcome on in. Brax, good to see you.
I thought you were first off blunt, and I was like, oh.
But guys, ladies and light it up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. This is our 17th episode of the Caffeinated Creators podcast.
No.
We're here today with myself, Glitch Penguin,
Fallen Wolf,
and Silver Zambi.
We have first off, we just want to throw a little apology out there. We did skip the last podcast. We've tried
first time ever.
It's almost been a full month.
Yep.
Technically, we did the last one on a Wednesday because we had to skip that Monday.
Yep.
But it's almost been a full month since we've done an episode.
But we're all we're all very busy people, and unfortunately,
some things came up, and then the makeup one would have landed on 4th of July.
It didn't line up.
We kind of all agreed that it's let's not try and do a podcast on the 4th of July. Let's enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Bam. So we're here, nonetheless. Back into the regular...
Back at it again with the white vans.
Scheduled programming.
God, what a fucking ancient meme, bro.
Right? Yeah.
How old do you think that kid is now? He has to at least be...
Well, the meme itself is probably about...
23, maybe, now?
The meme itself is probably about 7 years old.
So I think...
And he was in high school, probably 16.
Right.
Blanket out to 15,
I mean,
16.
I feel like I was in high school when it came out, so, I mean, it's more than 8+ years.
You think you were in high school when it came out?
I
guess,
so.
yeah.
He's a woke memer, bro. He knows when all that fucking shit comes out, dude. He's on it, baby.
I'm trying to think of, if I actually was in high school when that came out.
Hold on. I'm searching the Know Your Meme database.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, that's where... Dude, I just the other day, a.k.a. yesterday, just found the owner of SteamDB.
On Steam?
No. Well, I did find his account, but I found him on SteamDB, in a leaderboard.
Oh.
Yeah. I randomly.
Are you sure?
Was just,
Are you sure?
It was him. No, it was 100%.
It's not the SteamDB Steam account.
No, his name is Xpaw, I think.
Yeah. Was he a furry?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Honestly,
no idea.
I could see the owner of SteamDB being a furry. I could see that.
All I know is that he owns, apparently, and I think this is, I don't know how this works at all, but apparently he owns 7 times more games than I do on mine, on my account, but my account was more worth, price. I don't know. I was a little confused as to his account, because I'm assuming he's a lot of free games. That's what I'm assuming.
By the way,
nice.
Daniel.
Did you feel good about that?
Hmm?
Did you feel good about that?
I mean, I figured I'd help you.
It's a safety,
Yeah.
Safety precaution.
Damn Daniel is originated in the year of 2016 on Twitter.
I was gonna say, so I was out of high school. I knew it. It was while I was working at the Waters. That's what I was thinking.
I was on my senior year.
I wasn't
of high
too
school.
far off though.
No, you weren't. Well, you were technically 2 years off.
I said 7 years. That's 6 years.
Yes. That is 6.
So today we don't have too many topics, but what we do have is something special from another caffeine user here on the platform.
A caster.
A caster
on the
A
platform.
very much appreciated gift. Jesus Christ, this chair.
Every time.
Of very well known. I think what I'm going to do one of these days is go through all my
Stick 'em in a
recordings,
bar in there.
and I'm going to find a
All the
recording of
times I fall over.
every time somebody in that chair is...
That'd be pretty.
I'm the one that's always sitting in this chair, so I'm the
Compilation.
one that's always falling over.
Well,
Yeah, but
we
there's-
also have it on recording too.
Well, there's
so-
also a lot of people before you that have sat on that chair that have been...
Yeah, but do you have
in here.
recordings of it?
I have recordings of a lot.
Well, as we just found out.
I have everything.
He has a recording of everything in retrospect of what he's recording.
We just found out because we had to run a test recording to get the mics to work, and we found out that he literally just keeps every single recording he ever makes,
Which is, I mean,
which
hey,
is insane, honestly.
if you want to keep it all, I get it.
I got that server cooking away downstairs, man. You got to put her to work, right?
I suppose if you store it all on there, like that's not too bad.
10.4 terabytes of usable storage, baby. And there's
Of
only
unused
1.9 left.
Oh my god.
Well, that's because of,
There's other reasons why that's...
there's a lot of other stuff that's on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all
The other stuff.
9 billion
The
pictures
seed.
of Belle Delphi. No, I'm kidding. I'm
Right.
kidding.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
So that's where you're pulling all the Halo mods from. Okay.
No, shh. The Halo mods are Halo mods.
They're Halo mods.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta store the Halo mods somewhere.
Mm-hmm. We have to get a Halo CE up running again here soon. Halo mods.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
You got me excited for me when you mentioned getting
Yeah,
Halo.
well,
CE.
you already know the unfortunate fact that we can't do that.
One day.
Eventually, we'll see. Well, doesn't someone has to make that jump?
What I would really like to do is to get Halo Kart working again, and all of us do Halo Kart.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, I did it back when I was doing off-brand TV or whatever the fuck that was.
Halo
Yeah,
Kart?
I think that's what it was.
One of my
called.
first
What is that?
first ever stream events I did was a Halo Kart event,
Halo Kart?
and it's a Halo CE. It's a modified game
Why don't I
binary
remember?
of Halo CE, and it's a custom map. It's a recreation of Rainbow Road and one of the other classic maps.
Okay.
And you all race in Warhogs, but the kicker of it is when you have a passenger, when you hit one of the little power ups or whatever, your passenger gets a certain type of weapon, so you can shoot each other
You're
while
telling
trying to
me
race.
They made fucking Mario Kart Double Dash and Halo.
That's what it sounds like.
But
yeah.
Halo CE.
Like, I don't understand. I don't remember ever. When did you do that? Back
was-
in 2019?
That was early 2019. Yeah,
I don't remember.
very early 2019.
Crazy. I don't remember that.
Well, I will have to spool it up. I'm pretty sure there might be a YouTube
Do you have the
video of it.
recordings?
Yes, I actually probably do have the recordings of it. I probably do have the
Did you? Wait,
recordings.
well, that makes sense. You did it with off-brand TV.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that was-
this thing is once he said that kind of timestamped
Yeah.
it for me.
Yeah,
makes
it was.
sense.
We did it with Unseen, Jello Sheep. We did it with.
Oh, what was that other guy? Sinister.
Yep, Sinister. Yep. Are you sure you weren't involved in that?
Absolutely not. I never once. I
Did
have,
a collab?
I have one memory of off-brand TV, and it was the one time I saw. Well, actually two, but one of the times is when I saw Unseen Parallel playing Overwatch.
No, Luz, this wasn't pre-caffeine days. This was
No.
definitely early, like the earliest caffeine days.
Well, early for us because
This was-
Caffeine was still out 3 years before.
well, early for us.
Yeah.
It was when
it was
the
before
three of
Caffeinated
the- It
Creators.
was when the three of us literally just started streaming. We hadn't
Yeah.
made any group. We hadn't done any of that. It's
Caffeinated Creators didn't exist yet for almost another year when that happened.
About that, yeah, about a
yeah,
year.
yeah.
And then I separated with Off-Brand TV, and then I came
Couple
to you
months
guys.
later,
Yeah, I came to you guys, and I was
yeah.
like, hey, I think we can do this. Let's fucking make it happen. And here we fucking are.
Yeah, 3 years later, almost.
The only difference
This summer, actually. Yeah, it's 3 years.
The only difference about the podcast with them and us is that we did the podcast at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sundays.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And dude, I think all of us, I think every time we did it, we were all hungover.
Everyone always looked like they kind of didn't want to be up yet.
Yo, none of us did. I swear to God, we were all fucking hungover.
To put it in context of that, I never got the chance to watch it.
Yeah, because it was fucking early, man.
You weren't up at that
I never
point.
was up at that time.
Who the fuck wants to be up at
Well, I would have been at that time. I would have been.
I was up at that time for the same reason you would be up.
Actually,
at that time now.
no, we weren't. We didn't have first shift at that time, so we wouldn't have been.
I used to do drunk streams on Saturday, like every fucking Saturday.
Yeah,
I was
well,
doing,
that was a big thing. You used to do drunk streams every Saturday, and then
Yeah.
Sunday morning you said that you were doing a podcast.
and then I hated myself every Sunday morning.
But
we used
still
to
continue
we
to
used
do
to
it
play
the next
that
Saturday.
fly game. Remember that fly game?
Yeah.
Austin and I used to get drunk all the time.
Aeos or whatever it was
What,
called.
I don't even
or-
remember what the fuck,
think
like
it-
aerial something
yeah,
or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had ever seen Austin.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Was watching Max's stream of them playing that game because I had no idea what the game was.
Little
But all of a
honey.
sudden I popped in and I was like, "Who's that guy with Max?" And you were like, "That's Austin." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
That was around the same time that the caffeine.
That's when I was still meeting a bunch of
The
people
caffeine
through-
rap was.
We
Created.
were green beans. We were all still getting to know green beans.
What's going on there, Jake? Alrighty. Well, I guess.
Yeah, we never actually even explained this.
No, but it's okay because there's a lot to go behind it, and that's why I wanted to write it down because
For-
I didn't want to forget. Plus, to be able to like promote it.
Yeah, so
So-
for audio listeners, Justin right now is currently in the middle between me and Silver Zambi, and Fallen Wolf is opening a small white package.
Yes. So as you guys can tell for you video watchers, that we have been holding this the entire time, and inside this small little package is a assortment of cookies and even smaller cookies. One singular big cookie with some smaller cookies. With I believe there's only two different kinds. If I remember correctly, there's only chocolate chip and white macadamia nut, or just white chocolate. I can't tell. Maybe
One of
there's
the
two. Maybe there's three kinds. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. There's a piece of paper. I accidentally forgot it at home. So yes. But before we get too into it, I want to make sure to give a huge shout out to Be Sweet on Caffeine, as well as a Twitter account by the name of Let Us Eat One. So if you guys want to check out Twitter, it is at Let Us Eat One, no spaces, number one. And Be Sweet was sweet enough to give us, without any money at all, a little package of sweets. So we are going to be trying it out today. As well as if you guys want to reach out to them, they also have an email at eat2time@gmail. Time as in like the herb, so
The herb.
THYME.
Order yourself some cookies.
But yeah, make sure you guys get yourself some cookies if you guys want to try them out with us. Maybe you guys could do a reaction video with it as well. But Be Sweet is more than happy to be giving out special orders. And I believe if you email her as well, she'll send you essentially a menu that she can make, or you could ask her to make something in particular.
And one last time, that email is eat2time@gmail, EAT, the number 2, THYME@gmail.com.
She is one of the only regular cooking streams here on Caffeine TV.
I've never seen another one.
Yep,
No.
she's the only regular cooking stream. So make sure to go check her out.
But yeah, so we're gonna kind of dig into this a little bit. Maybe we can
We'll
we'll
split the big cookie, I say that.
We can try and find something interesting to talk about while we're nomming down. That way you guys don't just hear. Nom, 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 nom. But yeah.
Dude, that's what they come in here for. This is also the ASMR podcast.
We oddly enough do a lot of weird ASMR shit
we
sometimes.
could do like an ASMR like.
We do a lot of
subsection.
taste testing on this on the podcast, which isn't bad. We still try and make sure we keep it somewhat audio pleasing for any people that listen to just audio.
Well, and that's the thing is like, unfortunately, we have to try our best to not.
Well, this is a good time
All I
to
can
plug
say
our
right
other platforms, dude.
All
Yes,
I can
it
say
is.
right now is this big cookie literally looks like, if you imagine like a wax figurine of a cookie, it looks like that.
It does.
This is like a cookie that you could see Cookie Monster eating.
Yes. Yeah, like like a fake cookie that you would see on the Sesame Street or something.
Right.
It looks delicious, honestly.
I
It-
can't
it
wait.
really
My
smells
mouth
great.
is literally watering.
Alrighty, you guys ready?
Yep.
We can't do the.
Yeah, don't say
We can't say it, but surfs up, I guess. I don't know.
Let it rip.
Ooh.
You can tell that's homemade.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
These taste like
Oh.
the chocolate tastes like Hershey Kisses.
I was
Kind
gonna say
of.
the chocolate tastes so good. You know, this has been sitting in my room for about a week and a half. It was worth the wait.
Yeah, we were supposed to do this last podcast that
Yep.
we skipped, but it's okay. It was worth the wait. And honestly, it was worth the wait. It's very delicious. Very much a homemade taste.
Pretty good stuff. Here, Max got the bigger of the piece, so
Okay.
he got like a whole half almost.
I got like a moon
Wow.
sliver.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good cookie.
Well. They remind me of
I always
a la
rejoice
carte,
staring.
like
Always.
high school a la carte. You buy a big cookie, pre-wrapped.
Jimmy John says those big cookies too.
I'm always skeptical of food places and their cookies because there's some places that have great cookies and then there's some places that don't have great cookies.
Yeah.
Mine, like one in mind, is KFC's cookies.
KFC has cookies?
Yes, they have cookies that they give away with like the fill-ups,
Oh.
the $5 fill-up things.
Yes.
I do not like their cookies.
Jimmy John's cookies usually fucking slap,
Dude,
but
Jimmy John's
Jimmy
cookies
John's are great.
bomb.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I usually when they have the box up there, I usually grab like at least 3 of them and kind of give them like a little squeeze test.
Feel 'em.
I give them a little field
Are you a
test.
soft cookie kind of guy, or are you a hard cookie?
I'm a soft cookie kind of
Soft
guy.
cookie all the way.
Really?
So I always
absolutely.
I'm a
grab the
hard cookie
cookie
guy.
and I
like
bend
the,
it.
I like the crunch.
I always like grab it and I like discreetly bend it slightly just to like do a softness check and I'll do that like
does
3.
Does it bend or does it break?
Yeah,
That's the test.
yeah. And it usually if it's an easy bend, I'm like that's the one.
I'm a big person in like eating uncooked cookie dough.
Oh,
So that's why I like soft cookies
I
because
haven't
it's that
done that
like
in a while.
it's like that in between state of like it's still kind of doughy,
dude,
but it's cooked and it has that proper cookie taste.
I don't give a shit if the cookie has fucking raw egg in it, man. I eat it anyway.
Well, I mean they do make.
I've been doing that. I've
Like-
been doing that my whole life. Like I'll go like the shit that you get like the little
Are you
like
saying that
pre-cut.
you will make homemade dough and you'll just eat it?
Like if I'm making
Crack
cookies.
an egg, mix it up, and just eat it?
Yeah. If I'm
I
like
have
making
many
cookies from
times.
scratch.
Never. I've
Many times.
never touched a raw egg into my mouth.
Are you
They-
serious?
Never.
Oh, dude, I'll take a spoonful. I'll be like, I'm gonna save this one to the side, and then I'll throw all the cookies in. I eat my big
They,
glob of cookie dough.
They do make cookie dough, edible cookie dough, and they
Yes.
make it with powdered eggs.
Quick Trip's got that shit,
They
bro.
have it at the place I know is Papa Murphy's. Papa Murphy's has their own like cookie dough that.
Oh yeah,
Can
they
be
do
meant
because
to
they also
eat.
have like a cookie pizza.
Yeah.
There was a cookie pizza I saw at Walmart that I've
Darian-
been really wanting to grab, but I haven't got the
Oh,
chance
are
to
you
pick
talking
it
about the little bags next to the checkout?
up.
So check out the little bags.
Those, but I'm specifically talking about like a pizza cookie that you buy. It's like a frozen pizza cookie.
Oh, I don't
It has
know.
like marshmallows and stuff on top.
I know what that is. Yes, I know. What
You know what I'm talking about? It's like some brown box and it has like a I don't even know.
So I don't have a topic necessarily, but while we're eating these, can I tell a little story about what happened today?
How do
Absolutely.
you guys want to go about this, by the way? Because the rest of them are small cookies, so we can kind of just like
Oh,
try.
We
Yeah.
could just like split
Yeah.
them in half or something.
Yeah. However, I'm personally I'm not gonna lie. I'm
well,
not
are
really
these all
feeling
this? Are
cookies.
these like the same?
So I think these are the same and these are the same.
Right.
So there's enough for each of us to have one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we
And
just,
actually, there is
and then you
like,
can take the rest.
Yeah. I honestly thought there was. I thought there was only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought there was 5 cookies, but
Oh.
there is 5 cookies just here. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead with your
go
story.
ahead and go
while,
on with your.
while
Go
he's
ahead and go
opening
on with
those
your
up.
story there.
So, you know how like on podcast days, I drive home a pretty good distance on the freeway. I have about a 40-minute drive, right? So I'm on my way home from the freeway today, and I'm next to this like kind of like a dump truck, kind of like garbage truck looking thing, right? Big ass vehicle with those big ass tires that probably weigh like fucking 30,000
truck?
tons. Yeah, like one
a
of those
full
big
18-wheeler semi
Yeah,
truck.
yeah, with those big
dually-
ass.
a
Yeah,
dually.
and they got like 4 sets of wheels,
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
You pulled a Christmas vacation and you drove underneath it.
no,
Fuck.
Could you imagine?
I hate this.
No, that was a log truck. I'm sorry. That was a log truck.
It was a
carrying,
log truck, yeah.
Christmas trees.
I apologize. I should have waited. Hold on.
No, I mean it's okay. Oh, there's a peanut butter cookie. I'm all over it. Big fan.
Okay, so, big ass like 18-wheeler, the giant ass tires, and I've never, like I've had tires pop while I'm driving,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
but like those semi truck tires, man, when they pop, they blow up.
Oh yeah.
They explode.
If they pop, yes.
Yeah.
But they can shed layers off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine because those wheels cost so much that they like put on like temporary overlays.
Yeah, they retread them
basically.
Mm-hmm.
But with those, and that's why when you're driving on the freeway, you always see like the little strips of tire because that's what's ripping off. Yeah.
Right.
So you never think about how loud those explosions
Oh, they're loud.
are.
Oh, they're loud. I've been around a tire exploding. It is.
Well, I mean,
it is. It feels like an explosion.
Yeah.
It
literally feels like a
explosion.
explosion.
It is balloon pop times probably like
Imagine
20.
the thickness, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you have to think of the pressure behind it. And the balloon, there's not
Mhm.
that much actual pressure built up in there, whereas the tire pressure built up in there,
Yeah.
that's all the pressure releasing at once. That is literally
That's a good question. What do you think
Making
the
that noise.
PSI of like trucker semi tires are?
Some of
'Cause,
those-
like a normal tire is at like 45 is probably like a base average, give or take.
I believe those larger tires like that actually
120 or something like
yeah,
crazy.
they're pretty crazy.
Because it's a lot of surface area
Yep.
to cover.
Yep.
So you need a lot more PSI to keep the weight. Plus, semi trucks are weighted for like what, 12 tons?
it is.
Like a
like that?
shitload of weight.
Yeah.
And anyway, I have my windows down because
It
beautiful
is.
afternoon.
Usually 120 to 140 psi.
Yeah.
We're on par then.
Yep. So I got my windows down and I'm driving next to this vehicle. I'm passing it, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm passing it, you know in like Hollywood movies when they shoot like somebody shoots a gun unexpectedly and it kind of does like the bang and like everything's really quiet and then there's like the dramatic fight scene and then the audio is slowly coming back and back and back. Just so you know, when you shoot a gun in front of you without hearing protection, that's exactly what happens.
Right.
Like IRL.
Depending on how big the gun is,
Because
obviously.
No,
It's
dude,
the-
a
it's
9mm
the shock-
handgun will make you go fucking deaf for like 20 minutes.
It's the shock to the
Inside
ears.
or outside?
Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. If you're if you're an arm's length away from a 9mm pistol and you take like 3 shots, you're deaf for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
I've done it before.
No, I mean,
I'm speaking
that's-
from experience.
I have as well.
Okay, so especially the scenes when they're inside, dude.
I was gonna say
Even-
inside.
yeah,
that's a completely
especially
different
the
story.
scenes when they're
Everyone
inside.
in that building
Is
is
deaf.
going to be hearing that ring for a very
Even
long
with
time.
hearing protection, firing my pistol, I still had like
Yeah.
ringing.
Mhm, yeah,
Mhm.
easy. So I literally, like Hollywood movie style, the fucking explosion goes off, and I have my windows rolled
How
down.
close
and
are you, by the way?
I'm literally next to it. I'm next to the tire.
Right
My window
next
is
to it.
right next to the tire that blew up.
Okay.
And
Was the window down?
oh yeah, all down, sunroof open, windows down. I was
no.
jamming. It was and bro, it popped, and it like Hollywood, like fucking. I had my music going and everything, and it was like, pop. And then like the music comes back in, and I'm like, it physically made my ears hurt. Like it was
Yeah.
painful, and I was like, it freaked
I've
me
never
out.
been around
Did
a
you-
semi.
did you,
while
like,
it's
swerve at
popping.
all?
I immediately, yeah. I mean, I was in the far left lane. I immediately was like, I like swerved over to the right about
you're-
half a
You're
lane.
thinking that the semi is gonna like.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, dude's about to swerve into me, and like all the cars behind me are all like driving,
going
Right,
crazy,
trying to get
yeah.
away from it.
all the shredded tire that's like
Yep.
behind the semi and everything.
Did any of the shrapnel from the tire hit your car?
No, not my car, but
I'm
there
sure
I
there's
did.
some cars that are
The stuff
behind.
There was a car
behind, yes.
directly behind that did hit one of the big fucking chunks or whatever. I'm sure their car was fine. It probably had some rubber marks on it, but it wasn't. It didn't. It kind of was like already underneath it. And it was kind of like doing one of those things where it just sort of like flattened it and it just hit the front of the bumper.
Scraped under the bottom.
Yeah,
of
so I don't think it did. It didn't do any real damage, but dude, that was one of the loudest things I've ever experienced in my life. Like literally, I've
That just happened today.
yeah,
That's crazy.
I've shot pistols and fucking rifles
Rifles
and
and-
shit
yeah.
without hearing protection, and that was louder than that.
I can honestly say that the worst I've ever had was like filling up a bike tire, like right in your face, filling up a bike tire, and that blew up on me. Like personally blew up on me. But I could never imagine being around a semi tire, because I mean there's a completely
PSI
different
difference
level.
is
I
so
was gonna say,
different.
it's a completely different level. I always wondered, how there's for example, like those really big dump trucks out in like those landfills where like it's not like the kind of place that like someone would go pick up dirt from, but it's one of those places where like companies like are moving rock and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Like those massive ass like
Dump trucks, right?
30 ton dump trucks. Like the things that you would like look up and it's like a 4-story building in front of you.
Oh, you're talking about like the
fucking
quarries.
gargantuans.
Like
Yeah,
in quarries
yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I got a picture of me. I don't know where it is, but I'm literally, there's a picture of me when I was much younger. I went to a copper mine in Arizona.
I want to show this.
Sure.
It looks,
Yeah, like a
looks
fucking
cartoon.
I was
cartoon
gonna
fucking,
say.
yeah.
It totally is.
I went to a copper mine in Arizona.
Oh my god, this feels so fucking nice.
And they had a
I'm sorry.
Totally like blocked.
oh yeah, the AC, yeah. They had one of those massive like a whole bunch of those giant massive like dump trucks that you're talking about. I was able
of dump trucks.
I was able to stand like completely upright inside of the
tire,
wheel part,
yeah.
not the tire part,
just
but the
like
wheel.
just the actual rim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was able to fit with extra room in the actual tire. That's how big those fucking things are. They're like two of me stacked on top
Literally,
of each
like the gap between the tires is enough for you to like lay down in between them. It's crazy. They're huge.
other. You make a really good point. I'm curious what the fuck those things sound like.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, imagine the people who have to work on those. Like, yeah, like you're talking about like doing maintenance on a whole mobile like infrastructure of like a I don't even know. It's huge. It's literally they're massive.
What do you think a tractor tire would sound like?
No, those
If that
like
thing
those
were to-
massive like
Like
fill this whole room type tire.
Right, yeah. What do you
I
think
don't
that
know,
would sound
honestly.
like?
I'm sure there's plenty of farmers who've had to deal with it though.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I feel like you have to be
Ran
like,
over their
you have
pitchfork
to-
or something.
You have to be like really not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean those things
In
only
order
go
to-
like 3
Well,
miles an hour.
But also the amount of thickness on the outer
The tread,
yeah,
the
the
tread
tread.
that's on it.
It would be it would be pretty hard to pop it from the outside, but like that's what I'm saying. If you filled it up too much with like PSI,
Yeah.
like the bike tire, you'd have to really not be paying attention to that shit.
Those
Or maybe a faulty tire or something.
those tires are like fucking crazy expensive too.
Any tire
like-
that's not a normal car tire is expensive. I've come to realize that rubber's not cheap.
Especially when you're making a tire that's twice the size of a human being.
Exactly. Imagine the machine that has to like the casting that goes into making that. I mean, to be fair, they might like make it flat and then like use a forming tool to like wrap the the rubber around like a mold of some sort, and then it like almost like gets like rubber welded, I guess. But I mean, because it's all layers, so it's all just a bunch of layering of metal and then epoxy or whatever adhesive of some sort.
So moral of the story is don't sit if a fucking semi truck tire is gonna blow up next to you. Don't have your windows rolled down on the freeway because it sounds like a gunshot goes off in your car.
Let's be honest. Being next to a semi with your window down
It's
is
already
loud
loud.
as is.
Yeah.
Especially if like they're like, let's say you're at a stoplight and you're next to a semi, you're hearing.
Or when they start engine braking or something, and it's like,
my God.
do. It's like, oh my god, bro.
Well, even like on the freeway in this case, when you're next to a semi with your windows down, you are hearing every single one of those tires just make the most noise with the friction against the road.
It's honestly kind of crazy to think of like, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of things that you don't really see in your everyday life, and like to think that there's someone out there that exists that deals with that probably almost on a if not a daily, at least a weekly
Yeah,
occurrence.
but I imagine they have some hearing protection.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's like being
They
what
got
are
the
the
earplugs
air
in
traffic
and the
control,
earmuffs
like
on.
like the people that have like the lights in their hands.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, the mini lightsabers. Yeah.
yeah, the mini lightsabers. Yeah. It makes me wonder if they are allowed to listen to music at all because they can't hear shit anyways. Are they
What,
allowed to
in
listen?
semi-
Oh,
in- in semi-truck drivers?
No.
because-
Air traffic,
because
like
I'm sure
directing.
No, dude, those guys are-
in to like listen to the traffic control.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, they actually are wearing the headsets to be
Yeah.
able to talk with the rest of the crew.
Because those guys in the tower talk to the guys on the ground. I actually, Alec
didn't know
Mesa
that.
worked at an airport for the longest time, and like they're all linked into air traffic control.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I remember there was an episode of a show that I watched that kind of like, because I doubt you guys have ever seen what it looks like inside of an air traffic control center,
Nope.
but like
I applied for a job a long time ago at one.
It'd be spooky, man. You're like so vulnerable up there.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah, I'm directing hundreds of flying objects coming in to like, I don't know. That'd be terrifying. I would not want to be up there. But anyways, there's some like, it's really cool to think that the amount of technology and like obviously there's a lot more like radar and sonar and all that good stuff that goes on with that, but
It can't be as terrifying as being the actual pilot.
you know,
I mean, you have to control that.
Commercial
giant
airliners,
I
though,
just-
commercial airliners are very automatic these days.
I mean the landing and the takeoff process are
Those are pretty manual.
those
still.
are mostly manual, but there still is a lot of automatic stuff that happens, but like
That's why when planes crash, everyone freaks out because they're not supposed to do that. They're not like
yeah. Well, that's like if a failure happens or like
that shouldn't
a
just
crash
happen.
landing, if they have to initiate a crash landing.
Did you guys ever hear about the story of the guy that he worked at an airport? He worked on he did the tugging for airplanes, and he checked in one day and like none of the security cameras could see him for 5 hours. Then all of a sudden they see him show up in one of the security cameras, and he's in a tug pulling a plane onto the runway. Jumped while the plane is coasting. He like jackknives the tug so that it would break free while the plane is like rolling down the runway. He fucking opens up the door of a private jet, jumps in it, takes off, and just free flies. He's just like going fucking nuts in this like commercial like private jet, free flying all over the place, and then just crashes it.
That sounds like something I saw on GTA.
That also sounds like a
Like,
That's a
like
real
there's
thing.
there's an air show video of a guy that's a whole skit of it, but it's like some drunk guy in the crowd like hops in the plane and just like takes off with it. But that's like part of the show. Like that was part of the show. It sounds very similar to what you're talking about, but that's crazy to think. Imagine hopping into the driver's seat or the pilot seat of a plane and trying to drive and then fly it. Like, I don't even know what you would press first. There's like so many things.
the
to,
only
like,
thing
have to
I
check.
know is you grab that thing and you pull for up and
So-
you push for down.
so this-
and the thrust. I know that the thrust is like an actual like.
Don't ask me about my thrust, all right?
So this
Sorry,
happened in
I apologize.
2018,
Didn't
by the
mean to
way.
get too personal.
So Seattle airport surveillance video shows a man, 29, stealing a passenger plane in 2018 and taking it on an hour-long joyride before deliberately crashing it into a remote island and killing himself.
An hour? This guy flew around for an hour?
So the bullet points of the
What are you gonna
article, the bullet points of the article are
How do
videos.
you stop a?
Yeah, how do you stop
How
it?
do you stop a
get it,
rogue
but it's
plane?
Like,
How close do you think they were to
were
deploying?
there people
like,
in the
Air
plane
Force?
with him?
That had to have been.
No, he stole it. He was a tug, an employee at the airport, and he was a tug driver that taxied planes up and down the runway and stuff. Because you know how like they always have a tug that pulls the plane out to get it ready to go and stuff.
Yep.
And he was one of those operators and just tugged a plane out onto the runway and sped the tug up as fast as it could go. Jumped off the tug, then ran up to the plane while it was rolling down the runway. Opened up the door, jumped in, took the plane off, and just So bullet points of the article. Video shot in 2018 of a man stealing an Alaska Airlines Q400 plane from Seattle Airport has been released. Richard Russell, 29, worked as a baggage handler
29.
at the airport and had access to aircraft on the tarmac. He could be seen pushing the plane back onto the taxiway before taking off and flying around. Extraordinary audio from the airport traffic control tower sees officials addressing the pilot. He was talking the whole time. He was literally talking to air traffic control, being like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm not landing. I'm just flying around, dude." Like, he's talking the whole time.
Guy have like fucking cancer or something?
I don't know.
I wonder if they released the audio of it.
So controllers attempt to convince him to bring the plane back down to land, but ultimately he decided to crash. FBI ruled his death as suicide and say that the incident was not part of any wider criminal activity or terrorism, and that Russell just acted alone.
I mean, yeah, as long as nobody was in the plane, he totally did this by himself.
I think about this actually
I think
quite
this man.
often.
I think this man just wanted to go out in a fun way.
I'm surprised you don't hear about things like that more often.
Here, I'll show a picture of the guy here. This is what he looks like.
Wow.
For
Looks
audio
like a
listeners, if
normal
you
guy.
tune into Caffeine TV /Caffeinated Creators, you can see what Russell looks like. I'm waiting for my camera to focus.
I just like I truly don't like within the world of possibilities. There's a lot of things people can do with their lives. And like obviously it's not like I expect this, but I'm surprised that you don't hear people doing life decisions more
So
like that.
So I don't know if this
You know
is.
what I mean?
I don't know if this would get me in trouble, but somebody else.
The only reason he was able to do it is because he worked there already.
Yeah.
Well,
he had
and see, so that's
history of knowing how to do it. Plus, he probably knew. He probably looked at videos on how to fly or something. You know what I mean?
So that's the interesting thing is like I'm talking to a different person that I know that worked at an airport. They told me that it's actually pretty crazy. Employees, like once you're hired at an airport, it's pretty like as far as like getting around the airport, you can pretty much go anywhere.
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean,
they don't really have like, you know how like government buildings have like security access levels and stuff to get to certain parts of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Airport employees just like there isn't really like clearance zones for like shit. If you have a badge, you can pretty much go wherever the hell you want.
If I've learned anything from heist movies, you want clearance to everything, janitor. You gotta get in everywhere to clean.
When I got hired at one of the places I used to work, I used to do janitorial stuff. And that was one of the first things that, like, when they were sitting me down and talking to me about the application and stuff, I remembered because it was kind of odd. They're like, just so you know, like, should you accept this position or should we decide to hire you? This is something, there's going to be a high trust level here because you will be unattended in the entire building and have access to everything.
Yeah.
And there's a large amount of responsibility to that because you will be the sole person responsible for making sure that where you leave, nobody else can get to, and that you can't let anybody else in because you'll have access to the entire. I had more access to the building than like normal office employees.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is just kind of like mind blowing.
You got to go everywhere. You gotta be able to clean whatever.
Yep.
It's honestly, it's kind of interesting to think the flaws in some, but there's also like trust. You know, it's a trust thing.
It sort of goes back to like if you ever learn about or decide to go into like or for anybody that's listening, if you ever decide to go into like computer science, computer security, anything in the security field, what people always say is it's not the technology that is insecure, it's people that are insecure because like should you have access to certain areas or if you have physical access to like let's say like a terminal in like a banking system or whatever, you technically speaking should
have the ability to do whatever.
malicious activity, like you could do that, and the problem is when those people that have access are influenced or
have motive
or influenced to do something that is malicious in a sense. Those are the people that like that's where like a lot of security vulnerability comes in, such like this guy had access to the tarmac, he had access to tugs, he was able to pull a plane out because he just was there. That's your biggest security thing, it's just people. That's why whistleblowers exist, because they can go in and pretty much like have access to like government systems and be like, hey, I'm going to let people know what's going on. It's like Edward Snowden shit. It's funny. I was just talking to Kenzie about this.
Every time I hear the term whistleblower, I just think of Outlast. Because there was that DLC for it.
For which show?
Outlast.
Oh, yeah.
In the first Outlast, there was a DLC where you get to play as the person who told the main character, the reporter, about this place. You were the whistleblower. And then he actually, like, his story coincides. It happens while the main story is happening.
Oh, really?
It's actually kind of cool to see, because you could see like main event happen.
You know, I played a lot.
Have to play that DLC.
Well, ironically, I played a lot of the first game, but I never I owned the DLC, but I never touched it.
I suggest playing it.
It's good. It's better.
I would get a recap of the main story because there's things that happen.
You need to know how the game ends.
I have such a hard time playing that game because I don't like horror games, and it's like it's hard for me to like.
Neither of you two do, and I love watching both of you play them.
I hate playing horror games.
They terrify. The other day,
least favorite thing to do.
I was fucking around with Alex, and we were talking about that game that I played a while back called Psychoma, whatever. Remember that? It's the anime girl that runs after you. You play as the boy, and she wants to kill you.
I remember the one you were playing. Yes, I don't remember the name.
I
never caught the name.
Psycho no Sutoka, I believe it is.
It was very Yandere Simulator style.
Yeah. Although Yandere Simulator is better, and Caffeine, you should let me play that on stream. Anyway. Actually, recently, fun story. I actually inquired about that again recently, and they said no again. So
good.
I'm gonna give it a year.
They said no.
I'm gonna give it a year, and then I'll go back and continue asking.
Don't.
Anyway, hashtag Unbanned Yandery Simulator. There is a
Free my boys.
yeah, dude. In that game, I was playing it just for fun. Like I was showing Alex something. When I downloaded it, they had pushed a massive update. It's totally changed.
Like
that one you
they
were playing.
added more.
Yeah, they added a
changed the
full-fledged fucking storyline and like different. There's a whole place where you can see all the endings.
I think I remember when you found out they added a bunch of shit because you were like, "This isn't how it started last time."
Yeah, you might have been there. Yeah, because I was super confused.
That's when I watched you play it. Like you were streaming on Discord.
Yes, yeah, when I was streaming it on Discord. Yep.
I don't even know the game existed.
But it was funny because I was playing it and even though
there was a whole like separate tutorial, like
Yeah.
you were a separate person
yeah.
in the beginning to learn how the game works.
And I was like, I don't remember any of this. Like, is this the same game? I was like confused. But long story short is like when I play horror games on stream, like it's a lot of times like you act a certain way, or like I shouldn't say act, but you try to be as entertaining as possible, right? And with horror games,
You don't have to act.
You don't have to do shit because when you play horror games, no matter whether you're on stream or not, you have such genuine fear
Yeah.
in your voice.
I'm terrified. I shake.
Because
Like
we've played horror games, like multiplayer horror games, offline, off stream together, and he has the same exact reactions of like the pure high pitched screams
it's
of
pure
like
horror, man.
ah, ah, ah. Like it is so genuine. I cannot tell you how much it is.
I scream like a little fucking girl, bro.
I don't blame you.
But it was funny because like I was playing that, I knew what was gonna happen, and I was just in Discord with you guys, and I was just showing the game, and there was still times where like I was fucking around, and I would turn around and just like literally just like I jump and scream because I'm like it still scares me.
Yeah,
dude.
because that chick would come out of fucking nowhere.
They added a new horror mode above the hardest level that was there too.
On that game.
Yeah, and I like the hardest was like Nightmare, and then they added another one, and it's fucking like the girl just standing there looking at you is fucking horrifying.
What do you do? Like, are you in like a city? Or
You
at
are
a school?
inside.
Or,
You are inside
like,
of a school, and you are essentially trying to escape while she is consistently trying to kill you.
So you forget.
Is it just you and her?
The storyline? No, it's one of the storyline is basically you forget something at school. You turn around, you go back, and you notice like it's all cleared out. There's nobody there because everyone went home.
Mhm.
So you go up and you're looking for the shit that you left behind.
So you have to
and-
find all the things. that
And
you
there's
left
a
behind.
girl that you meet along the way, and she starts asking you, she's like, what are you looking for? And she's very sketchy, like she's like why are you still here, like you should get the fuck away. And she starts like helping you find what you're looking for to speed up the process and also control where you go. If you actually deviate from the path that she wants you to go, she gets pissed off and will start attacking you right away
Jesus.
because she doesn't want you to find what she did. Anyway, you continue on, and eventually
What she did?
eventually you run into the fact that she
Spoilers.
you find out in the first 5 minutes.
Remember how I said there was that separate tutorial character?
Yeah.
That's what she did.
she
killed
kills
the separate tutorial character.
yeah.
Oh.
So you finally see that she killed someone, and then she's like, "Oh, senpai, I'm so sorry that you had to see this. He was trying to talk to you, and I had to kill him because he wanted to talk to you, and that's my job. So now I have to kill you because you're gonna rat on me." So then the game like officially starts, and you have
Is
to.
it like a hiding type thing? Like, do you hide from her?
There's hiding elements. There's like
Yeah.
mechanics where you can hide, but
Hide in a locker or
you
whatnot.
only get so long to hide because eventually she knows that you're in the room and she'll start checking places, and your only option at some point is to leave because she will eventually find you.
You can outrun her, so you
Some,
just
like,
sometimes
alien
just have
isolation type thing.
you just sometimes just have to outrun her, and just like go down a different floor or something. lose
She
her.
also has different modes. She has a so well like what she like mechanics, and
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
no, I get it,
one
I
of the
get it.
mechanics is she'll roam. The music changes a little bit, but she just roams.
Mm.
This is normal mode, by the way, like normal difficulty. She roams, and the music will change a little bit again. And now she's in like sort of like stalker mode. And what she does is she'll run up to you, and then like if you turn around, she'll like go behind like a doorway or whatever, and just you'll see her head peeking out, watching you. And as long as you're making eye contact with her, she'll stay there. But if you turn around and try to move forward,
So, like, some
she leaves and starts coming and following you. And then you got to turn around and she'll hide. And then she goes into Yandere mode, which is she's just attacking you.
Consistently
Yeah,
trying to
she's
kill
just
you.
attacking you at that point.
Do you have to like just run from her?
At times, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a few you can do a few things to attack her and like slow her down. You can never actually kill her, but your goal is to get all the shit. She ends up like obviously locking all the doors and stuff. Your goal is to escape and get out of the building.
I'm gonna be honest. I absolutely hate the game mechanic of an unbeatable person. Like George Romero.
I mean, you can beat her, but beating her is escaping.
Well,
Hey, to be fair, you can beat him.
yeah,
he
but
just
he's gonna
comes
come
back.
He's
It's gonna come back. It's like Mr. X
X in Resident Evil.
Right.
But honestly, the game
It sounds pretty cool.
I'm gonna be.
Is it like a Steam game or?
Yeah, it's free. It's free to play on Steam. And like honestly speaking, like as far as horror games
once
go,
you get past the horror element, honestly, it isn't that scary. It's more like, all right, I have to it's a challenge.
it's kind of a challenging game, but it's fun.
What's the art style look like?
It's
Yandere Simulator.
Does it look just like
yeah,
it?
it's
same
pretty.
exact style.
But
It'd be pretty terrifying to like totally just like see
When
a
you
person
bump up, dude, when you
watching
bump up
around.
the fucking difficulty to like nightmare and shit,
Yeah.
everything looks way more terrifying than it ever should.
The look
yeah,
changes?
yeah.
Yes.
So the graphics change depending on the difficulty level. So if you're they have an easy
So
they
easy is like basically
Basic stool.
it's
School,
daytime.
No,
like posters or stuff.
Easy
but, like,
mode is daytime.
But as it keeps on going down, it gets like scary shit.
So on like
I think-
Yandere, on like nightmare mode or whatever, it's like
The walls are red. Outside.
your
is
visibility
red.
is way shorter. Everything's all fucked. Like it's all decrepit and like
She's
falling
like
apart.
glowing red eyes in the distance.
And she's like she's like staring there, like twitching and like looking at you,
Oh
and
my
like
God.
yeah, it's fucking
Jesus.
horrifying,
I
dude.
don't like that.
I honestly, when you get home tonight, you should download it and just open it and just like look at it.
Sounds fucking terrifying.
It's a good game. Like I'm gonna be honest, like
yeah, it's not. It's honestly not a bad game.
it's horrifying, but it's like fundamentally, it's actually a really good game.
Here's a big question. Is there Steam achievements?
There are Steam achievements.
Easy.
You
Yep.
got him signed up.
There are 100% Steam achievements. I'd be curious to see if like you could get past the scare part and see because like
It can be terrifying to just randomly look behind you because like sometimes
does
it's not audio
does like
cues.
music peak when she's like in vision? And
there's
stuff
all
like that?
sorts of different
Like,
audio elements.
Like, does the audio scare you?
In the beginning and some of the easier difficulties, the audio, there's a significant noticeable change when she's hunting you, and then like when she's not, and all that kind of different stuff and everything.
But I'm meaning like
On the
I
harder
know what you're
difficulties,
talking
it's just like intense the entire time.
like it's
and
one thing to be jump scared, but it's another thing to be jump scared with intense loud music.
there's
Right.
never a point in that game where you are actually literally jump scared. There's not a single real jump scare in that game.
not even
Unless
audio
you
jump scares.
Nope.
no, unless you jump scare yourself by turning around and seeing her behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's no like pop out elements. There's no like big like audio like get really loud to jar
I
like.
I
but
feel
they're-
really
they're-
bad because like yelling a lot.
There's
It's inevitable.
Times, isn't there times where she can like grab you and turn you around?
Yeah, so
that
like
can be like
Oh.
that's what the closest thing to a jump scare, but that's not even like instant death.
it's like slow though. It's
it
not
like-
like a whip and like a big scare. She just slowly turns you around.
It's
Like,
not like is it like Phasmo style, like where you like know
No.
you're gonna die type thing, so you
Yeah.
can't just like expect it.
yeah.
well, I think when she turns you around, you're not dead yet.
Oh,
she just
okay.
kind of like turns you around.
Unless you've been caught a certain amount of times.
Right. Yes.
And like I think on certain difficulties you get like 3 actual like she caught you.
Mhm. Oh, is that the case? Like, well, unless she's probably in her like killing phase.
Well, you have a health bar and she can attack you and you can get hit, but it's not an instant death.
Right.
Not only sometimes it
And
can
there's,
be.
There's meds and stuff you can find around the
Yeah.
map.
It's very sparsely
does the game
placed.
have DDR, dude?
It does not have
Have you
DDR.
figured out the name of it?
Yeah, it's Psycho no Sutoka.
Psycho no Satoka. Okay.
Yep.
Is Satoka her name?
I don't know what her name is actually. I feel like there is actually probably a name for her, but for anybody that just joined in or is wondering, we are talking about a game called Psycho no Sutoka. It's a horror game. I played it a while back on stream, and I also have a YouTube
I
video
don't think
on
you played it on your stream though. Did
I
you?
did.
Did
Yeah,
you?
it was
Okay.
streamed, and then I cut it up and made a YouTube video for it too.
Oh, it's not even
I just
like.
remember you streaming it on Discord.
That was recently,
Right.
long time ago. I did it
Okay.
on stream before I was even sign partner,
You were
Yeah,
pretty,
that's it.
Yeah, you were pretty right.
and I believe there's Steam achievements.
Yeah. So you see what I mean by like the Yandere
Oh,
simulator.
okay. Okay.
It doesn't even have screenshots from like the
I mean,
new
it's
stuff.
it's pretty terrifying. Not gonna lie, you can tell this person's not on the base difficulty.
No, that's nightmare
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah, that's nightmare.
That's what I was talking about.
That's not the hardest difficulty though. They added one up
not
higher than
anymore.
that. Yeah, and that one
It's
is
not free. It's $5.
wait what?
Yeah, it's $5.
Wow.
I'll buy it for you if you do a stream on it.
Maybe.
I'm okay with him just literally playing it in Discord.
Yeah,
stream.
even I'll buy it for you if you
For
fucking
us.
stream it on Discord for a little while and play it. Because I'd be curious to know what your opinion is on it.
It looks like a cool
It is
idea
not
game.
Yandere
I
Simulator,
like
but
I
it
like
is
those
very
kind of
similar.
style games where it's like I don't know.
Hold on, you say what you say, and then you say you both talk completely over each other.
My thing is irrelevant.
Giga was asking if that was Yandere Simulator, and it's
It's
not,
kinda.
but it's similar.
Dude, Yandere
similar.
Simulator just changed so much, bro.
Yandere Simulator should be called Grand Theft Yandere. That's what it should be called.
I like that.
Like if they were to go meme with it, it would
There's
make
not
sense.
even nudity in the game anymore. They took it all. It's all gone.
Was there nudity in the game?
There was when it first. That's why it got banned, and then he changed it, and
that's
nobody's
right.
unbanned it.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a rating yet.
That too, yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is because it doesn't have a rating.
But
yet.
when he first released the game, there was nudity, and then like everyone was like all up in arms about it. And he was like, "Fine, I'll change it so that people
What the
can
fuck? GTA 5 has nudity.
like." Right, I know, and I
Yes,
think that's what he
yes.
was going on.
But also the case of that's adult nudity.
That's true. These
Oh,
these are
these
also
are
high
supposed to be,
schoolers.
like, high school
technically,
kids.
Yeah.
which technically in Japan is legal, not over here. It's that whole mess.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's understandable.
But
The confliction, it makes sense.
but Yandere, dude, they've changed a lot. They've added so much content. I still watch the development blog for it, and dude,
have you
like
touched it?
I actually just recently installed
Is
it.
it worth touching
Yes.
because of the updates?
There's so much content. Like you could spend hours playing it, and like there's like
I
mini.
thought the DDR was cool.
Well, so not.
I thought that was
Dude,
so
the DDR
fun.
is amazing.
It was so fun just to play it.
So they've added things now in Yandere Simulator where you can actually build up repertoire between like you and like all the different students. Every
Oh.
student in the fucking.
So now you can like have relationships like style.
You could have you could like sim style straight up have a
Yeah.
relationship with somebody and then like dump them and move on to the next. Like you could actually have a relationship. They also added one of the controversial things they added was they added a kidnapping feature where you
Oh.
can actually now officially kidnap students and bring them back home and hold them, not kill them. And you can actually, if you kidnap them and not torture them, but if you mind wash them enough while they're kidnapped, you can actually control them at school.
and play them as characters. Kind of thing?
Not play them, but like you can influence
You can
them
tell
to
them what
kill
to
for
do.
you. Like you could so if you successfully kidnap somebody, brainwash them, bring them back, release them back into the school or whatever. You can actually give them instructions to like kill somebody for you, so that you don't have the blood on your hands.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What's the end goal of that game? To kill everyone?
Your end goal, I think, is to literally kill everyone except for your
the one.
the guy.
Crazy. Specifically, probably people that he talks to and interacts with, though.
There's different levels, so I think there's different. One of the things that kind of like keeps you moving is that they added things where like if you skip too many classes, you'll like get kicked out of school and like you can fail.
Yeah.
So like you have to like
Fail conditions.
yeah, you actually have to like continue on with it and everything. The new pirate game, I did
hear about
hear about it, but that's not new. That game was actually
What game was it called?
I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was actually announced back in like 2016 or 2017 or something like that. It was announced it was at like E3 a long ass time ago, and there hadn't been anything up until like literally like a week ago.
What kind of pirate game?
It's an Assassin's Creed style pirate game.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Is that
Yep.
on Steam?
What was their initial?
Can
Go
you
look
buy
at
it
what
right
their
now?
initial like announcement date was. It was like back in like fucking 2016.
Skull and Bones. It's fucking Ubisoft. Whatever.
Do you still have Ubisoft PTSD after?
I don't think anyone can not have
That's
Ubisoft PTSD.
I have Ubisoft PTSD from all the mini games I've tried buying and totally don't ever work.
I legitimately think Ubisoft has like an amazing like reward system. I love the way their Uplay points stuff works. It's so cool, so awesome. But then they just come out with these just absolute shit games with like garbage support behind them, and they
The
just
game-
don't back up their games that they create.
Now you guys have your car windows open right now, right?
I hope not.
I
I
don't.
thought about that.
Okay.
Alright, so Skull and Bones is the first video game led by developers Ubisoft, which drew inspiration from the naval battles of Assassin's Creed Black
Ubisoft
Flag.
Singapore.
The game began development in 2013.
That's what it was. I was gonna say it was released long time ago.
Wasn't Sea of Thieves also a game that was in development for a really long time?
No, Sea of Thieves it just feels like that because we've been playing it for 7 years.
But it's what
Here's
it
what
came
you're
out like
looking for.
2015 or something like
It
that.
was revealed during a press conference in 2017.
But they started 2017. That's what I said. 16.
So they
16,
worked on it for
16 or
4
17
years before they released it. That's
well,
crazy.
before they talked about
or
it.
talked about it, yeah.
It's releasing this year.
Yeah, so 5 years later. So
yeah, it's coming out November
Originally
8th.
set to be released Q3, Q4 2018. The game was later delayed into 2019 and again in 2020.
I'm honestly blown away that Ubisoft isn't gonna scrap the game because
Sea of Thieves didn't do that well. That's Microsoft. I mean, it did well at the time. It isn't doing well now.
Yeah, but is this one going to hold to the same Sea of Thieves motto of like every time you start, you're starting fresh?
Well, this does say
Kinda
it's an
thing.
action adventure.
Well, what I'm getting
I
at is
don't
the
think
fact
Sea
that
of
like
Thieves
I
did
feel like a
that.
game that's that old and been delayed that long, is it gonna hold up with anything now?
Especially if it's not built in an engine that's now.
Right.
Now, as a person who didn't play Black Flag,
You can say it's an
any-
RPG.
or any of the Assassin's Creed.
I mean, maybe.
Did
maybe that's
anyone
the
here
adventure
play
part of it.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
touched
I
it.
watched some content.
I
but
played it
never-
a little bit.
Do people
The shanties
did
was the
people
best part.
like the naval battles in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah, people
highly.
loved
It was
it.
very highly.
It was the
praised.
best part
Yeah.
of Black Flag.
It was highly praised.
Okay, so if it's based off of that, I still think it might do decently well.
I think it'll
mean-
sell, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna people are gonna have certain expectations for
Here's
it
what's
and be
gonna
like,
set it. If the game is you are the boat, I don't think it's gonna do well. If the game is you're a person on the boat,
I don't
then I
don't
think
it
it'll
would
do
be
better.
You Are the Boat. I'm pretty sure because it looks first person from what I saw.
I didn't look at anything.
yeah, but are you gonna be able to control the boat? Because that's what's gonna I feel like gonna make or break that game.
I mean,
That's what
What-
makes Sea of Thieves so fucking cool is because you can control.
You are everything.
You are everything.
I'm gonna be honest though. Sea of Thieves is cool. I just don't like the arcadey feel of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like you get over that pretty quick.
It's kind of like, I guess.
I get really immersed when I play Sea of Thieves. I don't know about you, but when
I
get
mean, you kind of have to.
yeah,
Like your whole attention span is on the game.
you have so much you have to worry about. Things
Mhm.
around you, things in front of you, behind you,
Yep.
how much loot you
So
have.
I've got the perfect idea for a game that would literally just suck Max into it and we'd never see him again.
What's that?
VR Pirates.
If it
give him like
existed?
Sea of Thieves, but in like VR.
I have to be able to control the boat.
Yeah,
Dude.
you would literally go and like fucking spin the wheel yourself.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be fucking sick,
That would
dude.
be
man.
pretty cool.
Get it made. We would never see Max again.
Here's the problem. Here's the one problem with that game idea, and that's you would. They would have the amount of development that would have to go in making you not motion sick playing that would have to be huge. But think about that. Think about if you're seeing waves and you're standing still. Dude, that's a recipe
Listen,
for fucking.
listen. Your perception of the boat is going to keep you from not being nauseous. Because think about it. People get motion sick when they're looking out the window, or when they're looking at something standing still separate of them moving. That's where the motion sickness comes into play, especially with your ears.
No, motion sickness for at least for me is I'm sitting in VR in a moving vehicle of some sort of apparatus that is moving my play space
Yeah,
without me moving is what fucks me up.
I will say motion sickness for the most part. I get it very rarely, but whenever I do, it's when my body in the game moves, but I don't.
The thing that gets me is when my camera moves and I don't move. When my camera
yeah.
moves itself,
Actually,
like a roller coaster.
My
That
biggest.
is-
So that's what I mean, vehicle, because it's moving your camera. You're
Right.
moving through.
I can fly a jet and feel fine though. I can be in a jet and have the mobility of it and be completely fine.
Yeah,
but
but
the
isn't
second my camera is locked into a position and I can turn, but it still
Yeah,
shudders and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
When I don't move the camera, that's when I get motion sick.
And actually, what fucking kills me is when I put my headset on and I
And it
start up
freezes,
see and I
and
start
you
up
can look
yeah,
around.
and it
That-
hasn't.
I was just about to say that's what gets me. That's the only thing that ever gets me is when I start looking, but the camera stays exactly where it was, and I move that with me. That's when my brain goes, "What the fuck's going on?"
When you turn your head,
that for whatever
the image stays the same.
I don't know about you guys, but when I start up VR and I throw it on, and that screen pops up for the first like 30 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, I literally either close my eyes or I just stand still and stare at the same direction so that I don't, because I hate it that much.
At that point, when it's just starting, is when I'm like doing something, like grabbing my controllers off the desk or something.
Yeah.
I'm looking through my
little like
opening
nose.
in the nose hole.
I literally
I'm not paying attention.
If I
to
ever
the
turn my
screen.
VR headset on, I just lay it all out, turn it on, and then get ready.
Well, for me,
It's never on.
For me, like you got the monitors here. Left side is where I've got my headset. I'll grab my headset, put it on, and
I
then
guess,
my controllers are right there.
You're already ready to go when it's there. Mine is like hung up,
Right.
kind of like Max's.
My process is all the straps go on first.
Oh yeah, true. You have all your straps.
And then I set the headset on the desk, and then I turn all the trackers on, and then controllers, and then while that's all doing its thing and Steam VR is booting up and finding all the devices, I slap the headset on. By the time I have the headset on my head, Steam VR is loaded and the image is on my screen, but it's still, my base stations are still spooling up. And then
do you have your set to like fully shut off when they're
yeah, they
they
fully
don't
shut off.
Just the IR turns off.
No,
This one's on.
the motors.
There's things you can
This
turn
one's on.
Yeah, no, they're on, but the motors are turned off.
Why isn't the IR on that one on?
Because they stay on, the motors just turn
The
off.
IR's on that one.
Yeah, but the motors
I can see it from here.
motors are off.
I can't see it. I can see that one.
The motor.
Whenever
your base stations have motors. They spin. There's a little fucking thing that spins at like 3,000 RPM. in it.
Whenever I turn,
Go up to one and listen to it. You can hear it. It goes,
Oh, I know. Because I used
too.
to set mine. I used to set mine to like actually fully shut off at one point.
Mine
And then
used to.
they only turn on when I start Steam VR, and I would hear them wire up.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, they might actually be on right now because
This one's on for sure. That one isn't.
when I turn
That
my
one's on.
There's no way.
That one's on. I can see it. I promise you.
I can see
see
that.
the same
I
layout
can see
of
it now.
those.
There's a reflection.
Right. Yeah,
that
you
I
got a
can't see.
reflection that's blocking it.
I didn't turn Steam VR off properly when I closed it the other day, so I don't think it actually properly. I just
I used to leave my base stations on for probably like 3 years.
Some people argue.
I just sat in a room blasted with IR.
Well, I mean that doesn't hurt you at all.
And it doesn't feel good mentally knowing.
It's
that
okay.
You just.
I just know.
you get more IR from your fucking like.
I mean, going outside,
window open.
obviously, but it's one thing to like live with it.
It's okay.
It's the same thing like if you just had your phone attached to you at all times, never left your body.
I do.
Well, you plug it on, like you don't leave, or you leave it up on the
You
desk
never
and
have to
stuff.
worry about someone trying to
My
sneak
hair
in
right
here
here's
with the
gone.
night vision goggles because they'll be fucking blinded.
Yeah, they're not seeing anything if they come in here.
I'm really excited for like the Steam
Or they're
VR
seeing
stuff.
everything. I don't know.
I'm really excited to see what Steam VR is going to be doing soon because Meta's like very close to releasing their like latest and greatest shit.
Well, they're unleashing another Oculus essentially.
Like probably going to be like Oculus 3, but like it's like half the size, half the weight, like same battery length, and like Ready Player One level. I literally saw a full-fledged video that tested. Like Adam Savage just tested it the other day, and their prototypes right now that are like functional prototypes are literally like Ready Player One VR glasses, like that level.
Just goggles.
Yeah, like fucking they're like fucking
like
little
ski masks.
Vive
with
yeah.
came
those.
out with like a goggle style.
Vives are fucking ridiculous though, man. I can't. So did you know that they don't have controllers?
What do you
You
mean?
have to have an Android phone to use it, and there's an app that you use as a touch controller. But the shitty thing is when you have the fucking app, you can't see what the buttons are, so you're constantly like going like this. And if you have an iPhone, there's no app for the iPhone.
You'd have to sit there and be like, oh.
Or like get it all set and then drop it down and like it's garbage, dude. And they make you look like a fucking fly.
They do look like a dragonfly.
All the holes and whatnot.
It literally is like a hexagonal pattern on the goggles.
I think if I own
there's a section right here that is not the same material as the eyes, so it's two separate lenses.
If I owned a pair, I think I would buy like a little vinyl
hexagrid,
decal to put it on it to make
like
it
a translucent, like little slightly different.
True. Ready Player One is a god tier movie. S tier movie.
God tier is just as good as S tier. Same
hand in hand.
Same, but different. I was just talking to Darian, saying that you guys heard me talking about how I wanted to get rid of my Vive, and I think I'm gonna We'll see. Well, I might
You
look
think you're gonna
into
get into
it.
an Oculus Quest?
Yeah.
A Quest 2?
Oh, so you're selling your shit, but you're gonna buy.
I would.
Maybe.
I
We'll
would
see.
not blame
Depends.
you at all because of how nicely that does actually work with everything.
If you were to look through a Vive headset, you would understand why I don't touch it.
I have.
If you were to do it again, now that you're
No,
so
dude, it's
used
not
to
even
it.
the look. It's the
It's
fucking
the look.
weight. It's
No,
the
it's
weight,
the look.
bro.
It's not even. I don't care about the weight. It's the look. You can't see. You're fucking blind.
Everything's blurry and fuzzy.
Everything that isn't past this wall in VR, everything past that, you would have to like squint and, and estimate.
His work has a Rift for sale right now for like $20 fucking.
A Rift, fucking gross. Would never buy one of those.
Right.
I don't know why we have.
Wait, why is it at work?
That's what I'm saying.
It was probably for like engineering and stuff like that. They
Maybe.
probably had it over in engineering.
Dude, I'm so tempted just to
It's
like
just
fucking
the
buy
headsets,
it.
no controllers.
Well, I just found on Facebook someone selling an Index helmet or like headset for I think that it was like $320, but no cable. AKA, I'd have to spend $120 on a cable.
Yeah, because you can't. That's a proprietary. That's
And
100%.
they're also sold out.
The cables?
Mm-hmm.
Like the OEM ones?
Yeah, what I saw, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it. I was just surprised.
I just can't believe it's $150 brand new.
Well, you should. There's a lot of
What
people
the
that.
fuck?
There's a lot
How
of
is
people.
$120 cable? What the fuck?
I mean, dude, it's a beefy fucking cable.
Why do
though.
you think I haven't replaced
It
mine?
has audio, HDMI. Oh no, sorry.
That's USB-C.
This? No, that cable. That
I'm
cable.
saying USB-C can carry everything that this is carrying.
No, it can't. Not what this is doing.
What better hardware is that pushing that an Oculus
refresh
Quest
rate.
that has a USB-C cable?
It's 144 hertz, a larger.
This is 144?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was 120.
So this cable carries power, DisplayPort, audio, and Ethernet.
USB-C does all of that. I think at 120.
Thunderbolt does that,
Thunderbolt also does
which
that.
uses USB-C, but USB-C protocol does not do that. Thunderbolt does that.
Really?
Yeah. Like a normal USB-C connection cannot do that, but Thunderbolt can.
I guess
And then there's Thunderbolt like 2 and then Thunderbolt like 3.
Yeah, the different gens.
And they have different speed variants between
Mhm.
the two. So like I think for Thunderbolt 4 it can do like 2 1080p displays or one 4K, one 1080p or no. 4 can do 2 4K displays at I think 60 and 2 1080p at 120, and then Thunderbolt 3 can do one 4K 60 or 2 1080p's at 60.
Regardless, $150 for a cable is outrageous.
It is expensive, but
Like,
also
$100
super proprietary
would be
connector,
okay,
breakaway piece, like.
but like $80 at
Yeah,
least.
Well, that's what they charge for the Oculus USB-C cable.
Yeah, but they also spend $1,000 for the fucking headset, which is then going to be outdated in about 2 years, and it's going to be just like how the Vive's
Oh
ended up now.
no, the headset's only 500.
I'm saying the whole thing. I'm saying the kit.
The kit is
Yeah.
1,000. Yeah.
I'm saying like the whole package deal is $1,000.
Well, that's exactly.
and
why.
that is what
the whole
my Vive
package
was
deal
when
is
I bought.
$1,000. $150 is.
But I bet
chump
you didn't have
change.
to
Yeah,
spend
you're right.
$150 on a cable back then.
But like, here's the thing: is it's Steam, it's Valve.
I don't know, man. All I can say is that is way too much for a cable.
Hey, listen.
That's my only gripe.
Here's the
That's
thing.
all I got to say about it.
I'm okay with what I paid because all that money should go towards an even better headset when they finally make the Valve Index 2.
If
The
they
rule
make
of thumb
something
is
actually
at
better.
for every-
No, they'll
for every-
make it. We can't get the 3. We won't get a third one, but we'll get a second one. All right.
You'll
It's
probably
Valve.
you'll be waiting until like 2026.
Fine.
For every $1 million
If I need
that
to, I'll
Gabe
get a Quest
Newell,
in between.
for every $1 million that Gabe Newell makes, I heard that his beard grows just a little bit longer. Have you seen that man recently?
Not recently.
He literally-
The last time I watched him was 2017.
He
Back when he
literally
was like blowing up on the internet for a little bit.
he
Remember
literally
that?
looks like Gandalf the White right now.
Damn. Look at
I
that
s-
fucking man. His
okay.
beard's whiter than his hair.
So okay,
What
all
the
right,
hell?
all
How
right,
does that make sense?
So that's actually him pretty cleaned up. There's a video of him of last
Oh,
year.
he's a gruely looking man.
Well, there's a video of him last year doing an interview on something talking about the like Valve's VR shit, and he looked like that. He was wearing a really big, but he was in his penthouse up in, because he lives in like the Netherlands or some shit like that.
Oh.
And he's standing on this balcony with like this view behind him, and he's got this flowy white shirt and his long beard and long hair, and he literally looked like fucking like a video game character. He looked like video game Jesus, bro. I was like, this man has like a fucking messiah complex going on right now.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get the picture that I showed second here.
I that man does so much, but let's be honest, Valve sometimes does so little. The first thing that we've seen in the past like 15 years was they came out with a bomb headset.
Yeah, but you have to remember that everything that they do make though is the best.
It like got white balanced out basically.
You have to really like.
Except for their price sheets, those are trash.
Yeah, but
No.
You paid
I'm trying to think if there's literally anything I can think of that Valve hasn't made that Valve has made that's actually bad.
I have one example,
and
it fits in one of those drawers.
Is this like the balcony thing that you're talking about right here?
Yes, yeah. He's got a view behind him. He's got that fucking shirt. Yeah, I think that's from a screenshot from the video.
Honestly, the image that you gave me was so much more like luxurious, like standing up.
Give it
like
a second, it'll
wooden,
balance. If you just give it a minute, it'll balance it out.
I was thinking of like him sitting on like a balcony, like standing up out in the open, wind through his hair.
Tilt it forward or back a little bit. Kind of play around with it. It will eventually.
What is this one thing that you're saying that can fit in there? That
you know what I'm talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
There is one piece of hardware that Steam has made that is actually fucking garbage.
Well, I would say there's two. I was gonna say
yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
I was gonna say that, and even their link box that they created that they were giving out for $5 was trash.
Dude, the link box. I used the link box. I fucking loved it. It works, dude.
Big picture mode is the worst thing to ever exist.
Really, I like it.
But
have you ever played Steam on your TV?
Never. But I've never.
Okay, then that's why. Because it's not meant for your desktop.
I legitimately only play games on controller if I want to play it on controller, I will. But it's only if I personally feel like I'm going to do better on a controller.
For audio listeners right now, I am showing the one piece of hardware that is honestly probably the worst thing that Steam ever made. And it is the Steam controller, which has two paddles on the back. And
paddles
also,
on the back are pretty cracked though, honestly. I enjoy that.
It feels
the
so
only thing
cheap,
that sucks about it
This
is
feels like a cheap fucking controller.
Literally this is what sucks about it. If you just get rid of this, everything else is not that bad. It's just this. Just get rid of that.
It's too light. Everything is like loud and clunky, and the buttons.
Why is it inlaid?
Speaking of big picture mode, did you guys ever see the clip of Dr. Disrespect?
In the bathtub?
No, Dr. Disrespect when he was trying to play, I believe it was Halo. But he opened up big picture mode in the background by accident, so he's like, as he's playing, you could hear it like switching through like the menu back there.
Oh, really?
And he would open up other games.
Oh my god!
Trying to just play fucking Halo.
I will say though, I do play.
You used to use that.
So I still do. So this controller is good for one thing specifically, and it's good.
I think I can think of
it's good for if you're gonna sit on the couch and you want to play a natively PC game that doesn't have controller controls on like a PC.
How does that make sense then?
Because this is
a mouse.
This is WASD and this is mouse movement. That's why it's like this. And then this is for like normal games or whatever, and then like your button functions. And I will be honest. The layout and the comfort of this controller, sitting like this, sitting down like ergonomically is honestly really good for that purpose. But only for that purpose.
I was gonna say it's you have to have a special case. It's like the Vive controllers. The Vive controller touchpad is like okay, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Like I would much rather have an analog.
This actually arguably
I wish I had an analog.
I would arguably say that these touchpads on here are better
identical. They're probably identical.
But I think they function better than
think so?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe they are probably the same technology, but whatever they're doing here, whether it's software drivers or whatever it is, these actually function significantly better.
Well, you think they use the same technology for touchpads as the index controllers? You think they updated that at all, or you think they just used that? I think
Index is probably newer, but honestly, like I use those touchpads on the Index controller so infrequently that I don't know.
They're not even that useful.
No. I honestly think they're more of a nuisance than they are useful, and I wish they would make a revision of them that used a tactile button instead of those touchpads. Because realistically, doing anything, even like obviously my use for VR is 90% VR chat. Honestly, they are very annoying to have in VR chat.
There's literally only one game that I know that I've actually had to use that, and that was
Is that Alex?
no, it was
Does Boneworks even use it?
Horseshoes, Hot Dogs, and Hand Grenades. That game, you press up on that touchpad to like drop the magazine, basically.
Weird.
That's what you press for that. That's the only time I've actually had to use it. You might have used it for Alex, but very minuscule. I don't remember having to use it. So
I touched Alex, but I didn't get that far into it. It's a game that I really should
I beat
finish.
that game. That game was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Watching you play was really cool.
I enjoyed it.
I just remember the part where you have to hold your mouth. That part's so cool. Just the nature of that.
Fucking Jeff, dude.
There's a part where you literally just have to hold your. You have to
To be
cover
quiet
your,
or something.
You have to
Yeah.
hold your mouth to stop your breathing because
stop
there's
breathing,
a creature
yeah.
that can't see but can hear very well, and you literally have to hold your breath.
Like
to-
IRL hold your breath.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, but
You have
like,
to suffocate yourself in real life.
The game, you have to cover up your
that
hand.
thing
though.
is about as close as we are right now, and you have to hold your breath so you don't like cough and like tell it.
Hold this
that
in your
you're
hand for
there.
a few minutes and tell me ergonomically sitting in your lap. It's not a comfortable controller.
I'm just trying to imagine playing Rocket League on this thing, and I would
You
hate
don't.
my-
You no.
I would
you,
hate myself.
You would never use that for
I
Rocket
would
League.
hate myself.
You would-
Imagine. I'm gonna like, oh yeah.
I wouldn't imagine because you don't use that controller for Rocket League. That's not its purpose. Its purpose, because Rocket League.
If that's not its purpose, then this is failing as a controller.
It has a niche case scenario and it's for
What
games
is
that
it
don't
meant-
You
have.
should call this
what is
thing
it
a
meant for?
mouse. You should
It's-
call this a mouse then. You should call it a mouse controller.
It's like Core Keeper, or no, that's a bad example because Core
well,
Keeper.
you played it with Core Keeper.
Let's okay here. Let's say Dota 2 is a top-down like PC only like game or whatever. I'm just not Dota 2. I'm sorry. Fucking Diablo 2
Okay.
because it's more recent, like probably in our minds or whatever. Maybe because of some of the recent games that you guys have been playing. Do you guys remember Dota 2?
Dota 2?
Diablo 2.
Yeah, of course I remember Diablo 2.
Diablo 2. That would be a phenomenal way to play that on your TV.
Can I play Minecraft with it?
You could, but you probably wouldn't because Minecraft has native controller support.
I could see it, but could you imagine? Because Diablo 2, you had to click around the screen to move.
You could do.
WASD.
You could successfully probably play like.
Think about that. Think about
Like
moving-
Age of Empires. That would be a game. It's a controller that you could play Age of Empires sitting down on your TV with.
Really? Even during the frantic part?
Wait.
You gotta try and
Yes, because you
control
have. This is mouse movement. This is literally controls your pointer. That's what it's for. It's a really nice touchpad for
Oh.
controlling your pointer.
it. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not.
And it-
But like, what if you
works
had to, what if you
great.
had to use the buttons while using the mouse?
I mean, there's obviously it's not.
You'd
a
have to
perfect,
play claw. You'd have to like.
That's, yeah.
No, because click is
Imagine-
always going to be these right and left click are back here, and then any of those other keys are like whatever you want to make it for the game.
That's not how controllers work.
It's not. It's not. For,
It's a controller. This is a controller.
right. I know.
This is a controller.
But you're like.
That's also what you have the paddles for too, by the way.
Yeah, that too.
Because that was one of my favorite things about my Scuff controller was that like I never had to worry about taking my thumb off of the right stick to press A or X because my back paddles were A and X, so I could hit them at any time I needed to.
Oh my god, that's where the
Pretty
batteries
clever.
went.
Like fucking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is an interesting battery placement.
And it's a hot plate for modulation.
Paddles I think are really cool on controllers.
That is only to be used if you're playing a game that does not have native controller support.
So what are you gonna do if you have a game that you want to play while you're in the living room, hanging out, and you're like, oh, I want to play this.
That's the controller.
Pick up the other
that's
controller. That's the stupidest thing ever.
That's the
Yeah, but how are you gonna use thumbsticks to control Age of Empires?
That's the controller you hand to your little brother.
What do you
when
mean?
they
How are you
wanna
gonna
play
use
with
thumbsticks to control Age of Empires? You just move analog sticks.
But you don't have the same granular control. Like this is way finer than like trying to like slowly like
My
maneuver.
man's over here playing Osu on that thing.
You could just like have this as your, and you could be like.
You'd have to have your paddles.
Fucking.
I
stupid.
am just trying to imagine why you would have to use that and not be able to use a controller.
I could arguably say that you could not successfully play.
Are you
an
telling
Age
me
of
that
Empires
you
game
have
with a
never
normal-
moved a cursor in a game with a controller?
Age of Empires with a thumbstick would be damn near impossible.
Why?
Because you don't have the granular control that this touchpad gives
The
you.
fine control, yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
That's what it comes down to. Is just like the fine movement controls that you need.
I
I
understand.
feel like you would run into the same issue of not having a big enough mouse pad. That thing is tiny. How are you gonna move around with that?
I'm gonna be honest.
You'd have to
I don't know what they
you would
do.
have to like keep on doing this. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to keep on like boop boop boop.
I don't know how they do it, but you don't have to.
Is it one of
I
those?
would have to
It
use
uses
that
like
in a-
acceleration kind of like
Well,
some
is
weird
it, is
shit.
it one of those where like once you hold over to the right, it consistently goes to the right,
I-
or is it like pinpoint of like I move to the right, it stays there until I move my thumb again?
Yeah.
I haven't done Age of Empires with this controller, so I can't accurately answer that question. I don't know.
Well, you've used the cursor.
I
yeah?
truly would have to. I would have to like play side by side with that and an Xbox controller to even remotely have an idea how that would
That's
be.
a controller
applicable.
meant for point and click games.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another good example.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, you could, or even Dota 2. You could play Dota 2 with this controller. That is
Right.
actually a real example.
Right.
You could successfully play Dota 2 with this. You could bind these right here. Could be your 4 abilities that you have, and then this is your mouse movement. You could set click to one of these or whatever. It's all they have. Steam has like the how like on VR controllers and stuff you can get the community binding maps and everything.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
They have the same thing for those controllers that you can get community binding maps for them and everything.
Oh my god, are they coming out with a second one?
No, because I'm pretty sure that failed so
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
What the fuck?
wait. Actually, did they make a second one?
No, the price is on them.
Oh my god. Yeah, probably because they don't fucking make them anymore, so they're rare.
You know what's funny is I actually
Sell it, Max. Do it.
I tried to buy more than 2. I own 2 of those right now, and I tried to buy like
Another
6
one
of
of
them.
these abominations.
They
Yeah.
say order coming soon. So.
So they went on sale a couple of years ago. They were trying to get rid of their inventory. They sold them on the Steam store for $5
the
a
Steam
pop.
Link was $5. The controllers weren't.
I bought both my controllers for $10. They were $5 for a short period of time.
There's no way that they sold these things for $5.
I could go back into my.
They 100% stole the boxes for $5, but it wasn't the controllers. Unless it was the other way around.
Well-
Unless it was only the controllers and not the boxes.
A little quick ASMR here.
Have you ever seen those YouTube videos of people like playing Smash, like ASMR controller Smash?
No, I've never.
Like specifically, there's videos of
And
people
it's just
playing
it's just
on
the controller
GameCube
audio?
controllers, and it's just
Oh my god.
yeah, that's it. That's
I
all it
wish
is.
ASMR did something for me, dude.
I wish I
honestly
cared for
wish
it,
it
too.
did. I wish I could have the brain tingles. All right.
I remember when, because Julian, did you get any of these from Julian, or did Julian
No,
have his own?
I bought those.
Yeah, I just know that Julian had some too, and like obviously you got a good chunk of stuff from him when he moved.
14, 15. Would have been probably 2018 or 19.
New
I don't-
Steam Controller 2, patent
I'm-
heavily inspired by Xbox Elite customization.
I really don't like how far you have to reach for the fucking A, B, X, Y buttons. It feels so unnatural to reach.
That's
for
what.
'em.
That's the thing that beats me is the things that you normally use aren't here. They're here. So like, it's almost like playing a PlayStation controller. That's how you would feel playing a PlayStation controller with the added ability of touchpads. Because like PlayStation has their
Okay.
analog sticks in the middle.
Okay, I lied.
Was I right? Was I right about the
In 2019, I purchased these.
Because the boxes were $5. Specifically, the Link boxes were $5. I remember that. But the controllers were still expensive.
So
Otherwise,
the-
I would have picked one up.
The controllers were like 55 or something like that.
Each or like
Each.
both?
My subtotal was $13.65 with a $45 discount and a $7.99 shipping and handling fee. So total they came out to $13.65 each. I paid less than $14 for both of those controllers.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yikes.
Each. So I
Yeah,
paid.
that's still not. So they probably went down to 15.
Yeah, that's essentially what
Yeah.
they were trying to do is get
so
them
they,
out to $15.
So they went down to 15.
I do remember the link boxes.
We're down to 5 though. I do
Yes,
remember
yeah, that you are correct. I think I was getting them flip flop.
All right.
Honestly, I'm a little sad I didn't buy into it because, like, why not?
Well, it's
Now
one of
you-
those.
Now you have that.
That I'm gonna be real with you. I
Like,
I
that
bought
is-
those controllers.
That is history.
I bought those controllers with the intention of never using them, to be completely honest with you.
Really?
Because I knew there's an article that went out on like PC Magazine or whatever that was like, oh, these are just went on sale, blah blah blah. What they're doing is they're clearing their inventory
They
to get
wanna
rid of
it.
Yeah, and
'Cause
I
they
was
were
like,
fucking trash.
I was like, wait, you're telling me that if I don't buy this right now, I'll never be able to buy one again?
Mhm.
And FOMO kicked in, and I needed to have one, and I literally bought them just to say I have them.
Damn. I mean, I don't blame you. They are neat controllers.
It's an interesting concept. Don't know about the executable though.
But it is no better than an Xbox or a PlayStation.
I mean, no, I'm gonna be I'm like honest with you. I arguably think that like the Xbox controllers obviously are the golden standard for controllers. The Xbox controllers 10 times better than that controller. However, that controller
It probably has
does
a use. Yeah, use.
have a very weird niche use case scenario,
Right.
and I actually find that using it for that niche, it does perform what it's designed to perform very well.
Can you use your desktop
Yes,
on
with
a
that.
Steam Link out on a TV?
Yes,
So you could just like browse your computer
in my living room.
in that with that controller.
Correct.
I can see its use then.
It gives me like opening the browser on the Wii
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah, it's very and like honestly,
I can imagine the clunky UI now with the URL at the. Actually, no, the URL was at the bottom.
No, it was at the top.
Was it at the top?
Yeah, and it would disappear. if
I just
you-
remember the thick bar
Yeah.
that would like
Yeah.
cover.
okay, so I think this one has
Oh,
batteries.
there you go. Well, that one had batteries.
I was gonna say that one had batteries too.
I don't know if I can pair with this dongle to this one though. Like just to give you a quick example.
I think we can we can leave that
Yeah.
because it's not. You're literally not showing anything on stream
I was
now.
gonna say so.
Stream's not gonna be able to see any of that.
I
Still am up to debate
on whether or not I believe PlayStation controllers or Xbox controllers are better because I will say I small hands.
PlayStation controllers feel a lot better in the hand. Like they feel enveloped on the controller, where on an Xbox controller I feel like I'm holding it. Like I feel like I'm carrying it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like that's fine because I'm also used to Xbox controllers. But I will
Say
say
PlayStation controllers
controllers have like
like a crispness.
I guess like a crispy feeling, like with the triggers and like
The best-
positioning of the analog sticks.
The best controller that ever existed, in my opinion, is probably the DualShock 2 controller from PlayStation. Yep, PlayStation 2 DualShock.
Yep.
I will definitely say I'm biased towards Xbox because I only played on Xbox. I very rarely played on PlayStation, but I like grabbing a PlayStation controller and knowing that my left stick is down below, bothers me.
That's understandable.
Because
That's
it's
a muscle
bit of
memory.
reach.
It's a muscle
Memory
thing.
Right.
Like you
Naturally,
There you go.
you naturally know where
you're gonna put your like when you're holding a controller. This is what you're like.
what you're doing. Like you're putting your thumb up here, thumb down here.
What does it say, Max?
Apparently, there's new firmware for this.
Oh, shocking. I can't imagine they haven't been updated.
Probably
I don't have an X button. I just have an OK, so I'm gonna try to avoid the.
Well, it's about time to
I
wrap
was
it
gonna
up
say,
anyway.
it is.
Here, really quick before we wrap up.
Oh, I am
See how it
curious.
feels.
Yeah.
Mike brought up
a good point. I'm curious. Okay, so it isn't. It is exactly how I thought.
But
it does,
it's got acceleration
it's
to
weird
it.
because it intentionally has a software that rolls the mouse. It's like a you know those mice that you don't move your hand but you just move the little.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
That's what it feels like.
I remember as a kid seeing one of those mice that had the ball there, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
There is definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, maybe not.
I think mouse acceleration only kicks in when you whip, though.
Well, yeah, that's the only time you're gonna feel it is when you're moving fast. And, like trying to like get a gauge. Yeah, 100% mouse acceleration.
Yeah, dude, you'll be playing Osu on that in no time.
Look, a little stylus on it. Are you curious?
But-
you think a stylus works on controllers?
No. Yeah, I didn't think
This
so.
isn't like an actual stylus.
The one thing that I would like to that I want to point out with these though is that like you can't just plug an Xbox controller in and do what you're doing right now.
No, of course
Right.
not. You'd
But
have
this-
have to do the software.
But this I just plugged in and immediately.
It makes me wonder how it gets seen. It has to be.
The software.
It's a software.
I'm pretty sure if you don't have Steam installed, this obviously doesn't
I'm
work
sure,
like
yeah,
this.
it wouldn't work without
But
Steam.
one of the things that's really cool about Steam is that they're like they support like super fucking legacy shit. You know what I mean? And this will probably just click OK, whatever. It probably won't launch big picture. I feel like it's gonna make you do that
Normally
separately.
would launch big picture, wouldn't it?
No, you would have to. You still like even when you plug this into Steam, powered on. If it was on my living room TV and I connected with Steam linked and had this, yes.
I think this would be better if they were to legitimately.
I don't think you can really make it better. It's kind of there's a reason why it failed, and it's
I just like.
it's cool though. You know what I mean? It is still cool. It sucks, but it's cool.
It's so
Interesting
ingenuitive,
concept.
but like.
Not great executable.
It's
I'm
like
sticking
it's
by
like
that.
it's like talking about the Virtual Boy.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like it's
the
cool.
Virtual sucks, but it's cool.
It was so cool. It still is cool.
But it
like,
sucks.
It sucks. in like an applicable sense.
Right.
Because it was. I'm gonna be honest. It blew my mind to see like such old technology look actually so goddamn good. Looked so good. But like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Well, even at the time, people were like, "Damn, this sucks." Like,
Yeah. I don't know. It's a neat controller. I am not completely like upset that I didn't buy it. It'd be cool just like have
It was like
one.
haptic feedback while you're rolling around.
Yeah, if you move this one, there's a lot of haptic. But if you
Oh,
move
yeah.
it feels like a ball. Like move this, it feels like you're moving a ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Has that like that rolling feature.
we're talking about the Nintendo Virtual Boy was a terrible piece of.
It was a really, really neat.
It
I
was
don't
so ahead of its
understand.
time. It was so ahead of its
I
time, but
don't
it,
understand why there wasn't like a helmet system with it. I feel like it doesn't matter. if
Did you
a
have to
cable.
set it down like
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
had to put it on a
There was-
tripod.
that? Okay.
There was
I
no-
thought maybe that was just the way they set it
No.
up.
As far as I know, there wasn't even like a third party out there that made any sort of
I
like.
feel like it would have done so well
If you could mount
it.
it.
Just had like a head mounting system. Because like no one cares that there's a cable. We fucking still use headsets that have cables.
But when you wanted to use it, you were like,
you have to find a table. Like this table would have been perfect.
and the controller is attached to it, if I remember correctly, right? It's a special virtual. Yeah. Special Virtual Boy controller. It was like that weird wing one with the controllers.
Was it attached?
Yeah, it was attached to it. I'm 99% sure.
It was attached to the. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just a cable. But regardless, it still sat on the table, and you had to hunch forward and like look into it, and it was like really super uncomfortable for a long time.
Well, that was the thing. Is like there was no way to like easily use it. No, it was.
It was separate. Okay. Yeah, but it is that weird, funky, special controller you got to use with it.
Yeah. Well, back then everyone.
Yeah, so their own-
Giga, if you just look up the Virtual Boy, you'll find plenty
Yeah.
on it.
Just look
Nintendo
up
Virtual
Virtual
Boy.
Yep.
You won't be able to understand.
It was
the
quite-
technology that's going on.
it was quite literally
just
the
by
first-
watching, like a video or something, but you can appreciate the thought. It's the first virtual reality. It's the
Yep,
first
it was the
VR.
first virtual reality gaming setup.
And it was very very well, like it was very clear. It was clearer than my fucking Vive.
It looks fantastic. Like the fidelity.
It looks better than my Vive.
It's funny because we're like hyping it up. It looks fantastic. It's
It
great.
did.
They're
It
so
did.
sharp, and it
For
looked
what it was.
great,
and
but it was so awful.
And it's what would have been 18-bit.
The other thing too is dude, it was 16-bit, and it was fucking red. It was a red screen, and it was all one color, and it looked sick. It was
It looked good.
I would've-
Like, it felt good on the eyes. It didn't
It's-
strain.
It's one of those things I would have loved to see come to fruition, like more like,
Imagine
in,
if
in,
it
a,
did
in a
more
better
power.
way, along with like the fucking Power Glove.
yeah.
That would have been awesome if that would have like actually survived.
Did you see a power glove while you were there?
I don't think
They had
so.
one there. There was
Did they?
you couldn't use it, but they had it in a glass
Ah,
case.
okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Those things are like if you own one of those, nobody touches it, kind of deal.
Was it a very limited amount that was made?
Very limited amount, and the problem with them is the more you used it, the more they fell apart, and it's one of those things where it's like there aren't a lot of them out there because they've all been broken.
That's really unfortunate.
It's sort of like these. Eventually, people will throw them away. They'll break, and there'll be less and less of those available.
That thing is probably built like an IKEA fucking phone.
Dude, I feel like they in
Test it out?
my opinion,
This is probably the same plastic that's on the Vive controllers.
I'm gonna be honest. In my opinion, I still feel like it's a very like cheaply
It
made
does
product.
kinda
It does feel
cheap.
cheap.
It feels cheap.
That's my biggest. I'm gonna be real with you. That's my biggest gripe with that controller is it feels cheap holding it.
I really hate that they use this glossiness.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
You're gonna have to once
And dude,
once Julian gets his Steam Deck, you're gonna have to see if that feels the same way.
going
Is what?
Steam Deck?
Oh, it's all wrapped up right now. I was gonna say
Joey's gonna get one too, so we can ask him.
There you go.
going from like an actual like the
The two
legit.
Californian fucks.
They're still waiting for theirs, even though they.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
Oh, I clicked, but I don't know what I did.
You're about to open up 1980X.
Please don't open 1980X or download it.
It's a good game.
Also, to eject the batteries, you like press this button and it fucking ejects
Wow,
the battery
yeah.
out. It's like a little fucking magazine, little AA mag.
More ingenuity went into the batteries than the actual controllers layout.
It's cheap, man. It just feels like cheap plastic, and that's what I don't like about it. It's very.
It, like I said, it's almost an identical plastic to the Vive. Almost identical. Except, I think the Vive controllers are more compact because of nature. You're not going to be whipping.
You can
that
tell
thing
that
around
this
the
is the
room.
one that I use because it's so much easier to get the batteries and get them out, and like the feel of it just feels different.
When I think of those, I think of Fall Guys or not Humble Party, Gang Beasts. I think of Gang Beasts
Yeah.
because that was in like the same time.
Also, Steam holding on to their fucking dongle system, dude. They've been to actually plug this in. This is the adapter for that controller, and to like keep using it and everything, and this cable, and like to make sure you had like distance and shit. They still use that for their fucking Vive trackers.
Do they really?
The same fucking like mount design they still use. The only difference is instead of making it micro USB, they change it to USB-C.
Is that what you have for the trackers there?
Yeah, they sit right up here. They're literally
Wow.
Wait, do you have 4 or 3 of those?
3 of those. Yeah.
That sucks.
So
Yeah,
you'd
it's
have to
fucking
get another
terrible.
one of those.
Why
just
can't
to,
you, like, I can't imagine why they didn't come. You know how many controllers? You can connect 4 Xbox controllers.
To one dongle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you with those, imagine if you had like elbow and like knee tracking, waist
5,
tracking. You'd have to have
yeah.
you'd have to have 5 of those fucking dongles
And
plugged
that's
in.
5 USBs.
And you honestly can't really plug them all into the same like a dock and then plug them in because
you're
too much
cutting it all
bandwidth.
in 5.
Yeah.
You're cutting everything into a fifth of its.
Yep. Crazy,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
that was our rant. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
This was a fun time reminiscing back on some of some interesting games. We talked about some interesting games today.
Yeah, we did. We talked
Some-
about a lot of stuff that we normally don't usually talk about.
Yeah, like weird games, like horror games. We talked about
Space
some.
didn't come up this time. But
That's
did you,
true.
Did you hear that James Webb first images are coming out from a very distant galaxy?
I did hear about that.
We're
Well,
gonna be seeing some pretty amazing footage of in time.
it also got
However,
beat up a little bit. They had
it
some,
did,
yeah,
yeah.
it did get beat up a little bit. Good enough to keep using.
It's okay. It's still functional.
Yeah, the scientists over there right now are probably like, we can't have another one of those happen.
They knew what they were going. What they were.
Yeah, you just
For the
jettison
past
some fucking fabric.
20 years they've been building it. They knew what they were getting themselves into.
Well, let's hope so, because NASA, there's some old guys over there.
I thought NASA was gonna go out of business. I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Well, I mean, they're a government entity, so they don't really make money. So it's like
Also, NASA really doesn't do much anymore.
Part of the
Not
reason-
nearly as much as SpaceX.
part of the reason why it took so long is because NASA's so under fucking funded.
Well, it's also probably there's a lot of stuff that they were going through when SpaceX was picking up, because they have to look at it as a business model.
Well, I think part of the reason why SpaceX is so successful is because I'm pretty sure the U.S. contracts their satellites out to SpaceX to launch now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I don't.
They 100%
Yeah,
do.
I don't
They
think.
use SpaceX rockets to take them to.
Yeah, Falcon X's and stuff. I don't think NASA actually launches any of their own satellites anymore.
All right, but we'll leave that for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching today. It's been awesome being able to finally have a chance to catch back up with you. We apologize for the long delay since our episode 16. We're going to obviously stay on our track here, doing
We're gonna get
bi-weekly
back on
stuff.
track.
We're not doing...
Not next week, but the week after.
Yep, so don't think that we're doing monthly ones now. We are still doing bi-weekly. It was just the holiday weekend kind of fucked us all up with some planning. Apologize. Honestly, it's my fault. I'm sorry. We'll
It was all of our fault.
Yeah,
it was
whatever.
a combination.
But we'll be back in 2 weeks from now to do another one of these podcasts. It'll be episode 18. Thank you for joining for podcast episode Caffeinated Creators podcast episode 17. Don't forget to watch us on, or listen, if you want to listen, if you're an audio listener, you can catch us on Spotify. We're on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, here live on Caffeine if you want to be a part of it and actually chime in on chat while we're here. And I'm Glitch Penguin.
I'm Fallen Wolf.
And Silver Zambi.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll catch you 2 weeks from now. Have a good evening.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.